Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to this very special edition of Darkness Radio Cinco de Nino. I'm Dave Schrader. That guy is Tim Dennis. Hello, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So, listen, to catch people up to speed, what's going on? I know for those of you that are subscribers, you're like, where is our episode?
Yeah.
Well, we wanted to do something a little special. And let's give a little background on this first, Tim.
All right.
For people that are new to the show and may have missed going back in our archives. It was about 5 years ago when we were wrapping up our time at KTLK, and we were pre-recording a show for the 9th of May.
Right.
And we were in the pre-recording studio on Cinco de Mayo.
Right.
There was a big party at the radio station.
Huge.
And they were making taco bar, and they had margaritas. Yeah, margaritas. And they said, yeah, you guys can have some margaritas. So we figured we're at work, so the margaritas are going to be watered down nonsense. With that thought in mind, Tim and I began drinking margaritas while doing, I think it was Supernatural News, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So we're doing Supernatural News. Halfway through, we realized we were completely blotto, and we're giggling like idiots and having a great time, laughing at the stupidity of the stories. And that launched what we now affectionately referred to as Cinco de Nino. And that came, the title came from my drunken stupor, saying, you realize we're pre-recording this, folks, on Cinco de Mayo, and we're going to actually air it on the 9th, so it'll be Cinco de Nino. And in my drunken, alcohol-soaked brain, Tim, that made sense.
You know, when it started to hit me is when we did the story about the Pfister Hotel.
Pfister, I barely know her.
And that was it. When I couldn't stop laughing at that line, Pfister, I hardly know her. Yeah, that's when I realized I lost it and I couldn't get it.
The Pfister Hotel, and then the two of us just were gone. Well, people begged us for a return to Cinco de Mayo and or Cinco de Nino, and we tried to recapture that lightning in a bottle a year later, but it felt forced and not nearly as fun for the two of us. So we've just let it go. No matter how many times people are begging for a return. Hey, Jim Russell, thanks a lot for popping in. We decided we would do something special this year. It's a crazy point in history. There's a lot going on, and people are in a down mood, and we like making people laugh, and we like sharing and having fun. So for the last couple of months, our good friend Jeff Belanger has been hosting the Speakeasy and has invited me into his drunken revelry, and together we have drank together with Josh Gates and Aaron Ryder. We've laughed, we've loved, we've had a great time. So I asked him if he'd be willing to kind of host this special edition of Darkness Radio Cinco de Nino so that we could go back to the roots. And in this case, I figured we're doing it anyway on the Speakeasy with Jeff Belanger, drinking, talking with friends, and at some point we're going to even open up phone lines so you can call in and be part of the show. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, help Tim and I as we introduce one of our dearest friends. He is one of the most prolific authors in the paranormal. He has been working behind the scenes of Ghost Adventures since episode 1 on the Travel Channel. He is our go-to guest on any topic. He is a fantastic speaker, a great lecturer, and a wonderful friend to both of us. He's not available, so we had to get Jeff Belanger. Ladies and gentlemen, help us welcome Jeff Belanger. Nice. You are Cinco de Nino prepared.
Holy stereotype, Batman.
I know.
Hola, amigos.
So,
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
yes, the library's right down the street. Listen, let's show what we're going to drink. Obviously, Tim has tipped his hat. What have you got over there, Tim, for today's episode?
It is the drink of my people. It is not a
Norwegian Minnesotans?
Yes, Norwegian Minnesotans everywhere. This is not a it's a strawberry daiquiri. It is not a
margarita.
Not a margarita.
But it is still a frou-frou drink that looks delicious and refreshing.
Right, exactly. Now, I do have backup because I don't know how long. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to go. So I have a backup here. Hold on. I do have a little bit of the bubbly.
Right. Oh, Chris Jericho's little bit of the bubbly.
Right. I've got that going on here. And I do have orange juice, so I'm going to have a little bit of the mimosa going on here. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's very hoity-toity. So,
Yeah.
Jeff, what have
bougie,
you brought? What have you brought to drink on today's program?
Well, I got a margarita, nice tall glass here.
Nice.
And in case I run out, there's the whole bottle.
Nice.
Wow.
See?
You guys are good. Now I feel like
And I have the hat.
I do see that. I like your sombrero.
Thank you.
I myself am breaking out a tried and true favorite. Jeff, I don't know if I've ever introduced this to you, but I have rum. I'm taking out the Kraken.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Kraken black spiced rum, and I've upped my game for today, Jeff. No more generic. Today we're going straight up out of the can Diet Pepsi.
Wow.
For
you and Tim are
a rum and Pepsi. I it's because I don't know how to make a margarita.
Are you guys broadcasting live from like the country club?
Yes, the country club that is Minnesota. So I got that. Let me just put a splash of rum into my drink.
Just a little bit. Yep, just a weensy bit.
That should be good.
Yeah.
As I fill my Kraken glass with my rum, I've got probably need to top it off with just a little bit more Diet Pepsi. I have sent all the kids and quarantined them to their room.
Good.
So we are in adult hands and in stasis. So unfortunately, guys, we have to start today off. We'll start it off first with a cheers. Cheers, to everybody. Cheers. Have a big sip. Let's go.
Brain freeze.
Yeah, that's why you're not thinking. Look at Jeff. His picture is either frozen or his brain has. We have to start today off on a little bit of a bummer note, but I wanted to get to it and then move on from it. We've had the passing of two legendary entertainers. Roy Horn of Siegfried and Roy passed away due to complications of COVID, and he passed away yesterday. And this morning, my news feed has been infiltrated with messages of the death of rock legend, the architect of rock and roll. At least that's how he billed himself. Little Richard passed away.
Oh, and Jeff, homie note number 3, Andre Harrell.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Tim, for keeping.
Who's Andre Harrell?
See, that's why I said homie note.
Yeah. It's a rapper, Dave.
Yeah.
Well, this time reminds me of just, again, how precious life really is and what's going on in the world around us. Sadly, last week, I lost two people that at one point in my life meant a lot to me. Not saying that they weren't important, but life gets in the way and you lose contact. One was with my one of my high school friends who really helped me through two of the hardest years of my life, freshman and sophomore year of high school. Paul Gonzalez passed away. It's been probably 15 years since we spoke, but it really hit me. A good friend of mine from high school. And then, unfortunately, the mother and probably my best friend, female friend growing up, Karen Abel, the mother of my oldest daughter, passed away unexpectedly last Thursday. So I'm reminded, especially with Mother's Day tomorrow, that, this is a very precious time. And a lot of people, it's real easy to go down a dark corridor and feel overwhelmed by what's going on. And that's why we wanted to do the show today, to lighten things up, bring some of the humor, have the three of us converse about some of the weirdest supernatural news stories out there. We're going to take your phone calls. We want to hear if you have had a paranormal encounter that you'd like to share, or if you just have a question for any of the three of us. Now, with that in mind, we want to also wish a very happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and all of the fathers acting in the capacity of mothers, or aunts and uncles, grandparents that are doing that job. A very happy Mother's Day. So we'll have a cheers to that.
Moms.
They roll. So we wanted to start off with that again. Just make the best of the time that you have, folks. Laugh with us, have some fun with us, kick back and enjoy with us. That's what it's all about today. Now, when you call in, we've got kind of it's like a string and tin can thing going on here, but Jeff has orchestrated it in a way that's going to allow us to take some calls. But here's what we need. Jeff will hear you and you'll hear Jeff very clearly. So I'm going to let Jeff direct the calls. We'll all hear you. You'll just have a harder time hearing Tim and I. But share your story. Once you're done with your story, we'll let you go. We'll talk about your story. If you have a question, you can ask a question. Jeff will disconnect with you, and then we'll go on and answer. And you can listen to the live stream because it's a few seconds behind your phone call anyway. So by the time you hang up, we'll just be starting to answer it on this stream. So welcome to our program. We hope you guys enjoy this as much as we do. It's Day Drinking with Darkness Radio on our Cinco de Nino anniversary. I think this is the Cinco anniversary of our Cinco de Nino show, Tim.
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that's how it works.
Good time. So let's start off with what's some good news from your world this week, Tim? Good
news from my world. That's a good question. I don't know. When you're just kind of kicking back and not doing much in quarantine world, I didn't trip over anything this week.
Hey, every win is an important win.
Yeah, I'm getting along with the Roomba. Nice. Good. Yeah.
Ian Nixon, thank you for tuning in from across the pond. We appreciate that. Of course, I'm thinking it's for Tim and I. It could be for you, Jeff. Maybe they're a big fan. James Russell, can we hear about Eddie Money and the homeless benefit concert? James Russell wants to know. Jeff, that falls into your specific category of high strangeness.
So it's funny, when I saw that comment, I was like, does Dave have an Eddie Money story too? Like,
yes, I spent no money ever to see Eddie Money. That's my story.
Yeah, no, I have not either, but I've never paid for it. I've never paid for the Money Man, but I was at this concert for it was called Rock for Christmas, and Eddie Money. You know what's funny about Eddie Money is that you think of him as like this one-hit wonder. I think some people sort of have this like misconception, but when you look at his discography, you're like, he was like a 20-hit wonder. Like there was a lot of songs that were hits for a long time.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did this song called "My Christmas Tree Is Haunted," and it was a friend of mine who put together this Rock for Christmas album. Said, "Hey, can I put it on the album?" Eddie Money's got a song on there, Cheap Trick, and I'm like, "That'd be amazing for absolutely." So they had a concert, and I'm backstage, and I'm not performing, I'm just kind of hanging out, and they're like, "Hey, you want to meet Eddie Money?" I'm like, "Of course." And Eddie Money's just like, "Ugh." Like that's all that's a direct verbatim quote.
Really?
Ugh. Ugh. And if you saw him, dude, you wouldn't know. You'd be in an elevator with him and you'd just reach into your wallet and be like, "Look, man, I got like $24. Just take it. Just get yourself some soup, get yourself a blanket."
So he's like, you look like Nick Nolte from Down and Out in Beverly Hills?
No, that would be pretty nice compared to
jeez.
He was not looking good. And then I had this you may remember Sarah from 30 Odd Minutes.
Yes, of course.
Blonde girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "I want to meet him too." So she comes up and I'm like, "Well, this is Sarah." And he goes, "Sarah." So I've now quoted verbatim the entire conversation that we had from beginning to end. And then he's about to go on stage and I'm like, how is he going to go from to "If I could walk on water," and he did. He just went up there and went into autopilot. It was amazing. And that's my Eddie Money story.
Very cool.
Sorry,
it reminds me of the time Dave and I met Meatloaf, and it went exactly that way.
Did it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that till you brought it up, Tim. Yeah, that was at the
I thought he was a lot more put together than no.
Oh.
That was back when Meatloaf was drinking, and he was pretty much on a couch and wasn't doing much of anything.
I also have a Meatloaf story when you're done. Go ahead.
But he was sitting on a couch and nobody was really talking to him. And I think he was trying to promote Meatloaf 3 or Bat Out of Hell 3 or something like that.
To Bat Out of Hell 1 and 2.
Yeah, the ones that actually sold something. But he was trying to promote Bat Out of Hell 3 at Conclave, and nobody pretty much wanted to touch it or touch him, one or the other. And he was sitting on a couch all by himself, and we were all going to go to the Twins game, and he was trying to figure out how to go to the Twins game with everybody, and he was trying to ask everybody the question of how to get on the bus. Nobody answered it. And we were like, "It's Meatloaf. We got to go say hi to Meatloaf." We were like, "Hey, Meat." And he was like,
yeah.
He had took too much of the free bar.
How brutal is this? Tim and I worked together at a bar. I was the bouncer. Tim was the DJ. And of course, at some point in every night, there is the trifecta of songs, right? I know, who is this? Your inner Michael McDonald came out, Jeff. So, when you're at the bar in the 80s, there was the Grease Lightning song that we always had to play, right? And then there was Meatloaf Paradise by the Dashboard Lights.
Of course.
And Tim and I grew weary of that, but we saw him live perform it that day. And it was, if you could imagine Rolf the dog being force-fed through a meat grinder, only still able. Yeah. Oh, it was so bad. So bad.
Oh.
He couldn't, and like everybody's doing the
You used to be awesome.
Yeah, it's like he became vegetarian loaf. There was no substance to him at that point.
Near meatloaf.
Yeah, near meatloaf. Although that's not nearly as bizarre as the moment Tim and I met Frank Sinatra Jr.
The picture is priceless.
We get a photograph, and the two of us are flanking him, and he looks like he's afraid we're about to be the next ones to kidnap him and throw him in the trunk of our car.
That's
but fair. Yeah. So we got to see him. Well, we've got a lot of supernatural news to get to. Jeff,
you want to hear my meatloaf story?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay. Super quick. There's actually two parts to it now. That so many memories are flooding back. Remember when Meatloaf disappeared for like 12, 15 years? Right?
Yes. Not long enough, in my opinion, but yes.
During that time, he was the girls' softball coach at a rival high school of my high school.
That's scary.
So he raised his daughter. His daughter played on the softball team, and he was the coach. So like girls softball, which normally drew crowds of like 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5 people. When Coach Meatloaf was there, like those numbers like tripled, right?
Wow, they got up to 9 people when Meatloaf was in the house.
One time they almost filled a whole row of one bleacher. But anyway, no, he was there and he was totally gracious and everything. But then the second part is I was in college and there was this baseball Hall of Fame thing. Mm-hmm. And my grandfather used to be a professional umpire, like way back when. Phil Rizzuto was being honored that day. It's all going to come together. Stay with me. And so I got my grandfather press credentials for this whole baseball thing. And he had a picture of himself with Phil Rizzuto and Connie Mack. And so he went up to pull Phil Rizzuto aside and say, check this out. And Phil's like, holy cow, right? Like, you know, because he really says that. There was Phil and there was my grandfather and then there was Connie Mack. And he was like, what a great picture. And then I was like, hey, that Meatloaf song you were on, Paradise by the Dashboard Light. And he was talking about it. He goes, yeah, so they said, would you read this for some rock and roll song? And I'm like, well, I guess so. And I'm reading the script and I'm like, wow, he barely made it to first. Then he barely made it to second. He just barely made it to third. Like, when in baseball does this happen? You know? And then he went, holy cow, I realized what they were talking about. and I was like, okay, that's my Meatloaf and Phil Rizzuto story. Next.
Hey, well, as long as we're on to musicians and sports legends, and holy cow, I've got a good tie-in. I went to WGN to see with my friend Karen that passed away. I went to see Mike Nesmith at WGN Studios, and we're down in the lobby in the cafeteria there waiting for Mike to finish his interview. And Mike comes down, and there's probably like 10, 12 of us in the lobby. And walking out of the area is Jack Brickhouse, who is a legendary Chicago sportscaster, and Harry Carey. And Harry Carey comes around the corner, and he's looking at this group, and he bumps headlong into me, and he turns around and goes, holy cow, where did you come from? And I'm like, oh, I'm just in here. He goes, what's all the melee for? And I said, it's Mike Nesmith from the Monkees. And he goes, hey, Jack, one of the Monkees is here. Looks like he got a shave. Ha, ha, ha. And then we all just kind of stood there and we're like, but I had a great moment with Jack Brickhouse, Harry Carey, and Mike Nesmith all in one. That was a
pretty good Harry Carey impression there, Dave. Well,
I grew up in, it was great. I grew up in Chicago, loved Harry Carey. When we were out doing our Darkness Radio events and we were overseas, and I'm feeling bad. I think it was Scotland or Ireland, one of those two. We were in a pub late night one night. And they gave us like one whole half of the bar. They wanted the rowdy Americans away from their other people, but we paid well. People kept drifting over because we're singing. And at one point we go over there and we're like, oh, where are you guys from? And this group comes in and they're from Denmark. And my buddy Eric goes, the Hollish. And I said, no, I think that's the Danish. And we're laughing about it. And we said, well, we'll sing you a song from our homeland. And sang like, every rose has its thorn or some nonsense. We're like, can you sing us a song from your homeland? They're like, yeah. And they start whispering amongst themselves and they turn back around and they're like, take me home, country road to the place. Like, really? I never knew John Denver was from this area.
Oh yeah.
And then as we're rabble rousing, another group comes in. We're like, where are you from? They're like, Chicago. And we're like, what song do you want to hear? And they're like, we want to hear Take Me Out to the Ball Game. So at full lung capacity, completely drunk. I get up on the bar stool and I go, hold on, a 2, a 3. And I start singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game in my best Harry Carey, and the whole place was applauding and laughing and having a good time. That was such a fun moment. But
what's baseball?
What's baseball? To drinking.
It's like soccer.
I know. All right, Tim Dennis, supernatural news from around the world. That's what we like to do on Saturdays. Why don't you go ahead and break us in? What's a good story to start off our day drinking with?
Well, speaking of scary songs and singing at the top of your lungs, let's talk about the Conjuring event that's going on this weekend.
Yes. Actually, it's for a full week.
I'm part of that.
Yeah.
So am I.
So is Dave.
See you there.
Yeah. Well, not literally. I mean, they're quarantined.
Yeah, but they can watch us because we're jumping in via video stream to talk with them. I'll be doing it on the 13th. I got to pick my day. So for lucky number 13, Wednesday, I'll pop on with the family and some of the experiencers to talk with them. Jeff, when are you popping on?
I believe Thursday at noon Eastern, which is, prime time.
Do you like that? I turned to you like I'm looking at you.
Yeah. Yes, Dave.
Excellent.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to kiss?
I was like, that's right, guys.
Tim's off. Okay, so the Conjuring event, which starts there's a free preview of it today. If you go to live.thedarkzone.tv, that's live.thedarkzone.tv. There's a free preview of it today, and then you can sign up and watch all week long. But go ahead, Tim.
That's right. Calling all horror lovers. That's right. I said horror
Thank you.
lovers.
Thank you for clearing that up.
No problem. The real life house that inspired 2013's The Conjuring will be live streamed for a full week in all its spooky glory. Fans will tap into a 24/7 interactive live stream of the famous Rhode Island home, now owned by the Heinzen family, from May 9th to May 16th. The event is organized by the Dark Zone Network, an online filmmakers group, and paranormal experts. The haunted house will be rigged with various... Are you two making out while I'm sitting here reading?
Read your story, man. Read your story and let us be us.
Yeah. God, a lot of judgment.
God. Where was I? The event is organized by the Dark Zone Network, an online filmmakers group and paranormal experts. The haunted house will be rigged with various cameras, according to the Dark Zone, so that the viewer can have an entirely immersive experience. Throughout the week, the Heinzen family will perform paranormal experiments. I thought I saw it again. Seances, Ouija board sessions, and invite some of the paranormal community's most well-known and revered luminaries to show up remotely and share their most bone-chilling encounters from home. The event starts May 8th. That was yesterday. Cinco de Ocho.
Right.
Oh,
okay. I believe it's 8-0. 8-0.
Yeah. Cinco de Ocho.
Yeah. I don't mean to correct you, but
the 5th of 8th is definitely the right answer.
Yeah. Okay. That with that preview.
8-0. Just to
8-0. Right.
All the credibility returned with the hat.
Right. I should trust the guy with the sombrero.
Right.
With that free preview before asking viewers for a fee, it's $4.99 for 24 hours, $19.99 for a whole week. That does definitely add the credibility right back.
8-0.
Right. That fee will be donated to charities concerned with coronavirus. When the Heinzens first bought the home in 2019, they told a local news outlet that they fell in love with it, the home that is, but found some paranormal activity. Certainly, footsteps, knocks. We've had lights flashing in rooms, and when I say lights flashing in rooms, it's rooms that don't have light in there to begin with. Corey Heinzen told KETK. Later, Corey told Sun Journal that though they can feel spirits in the home, he doesn't think they're malicious. I'm not feeling anything bad, but it's really busy, he said. You can tell that a lot of things are happening in the building. While fictionalized, The Conjuring is based in the true story of the ancestors of the Heinzen, the Perrin family. Of the Heinzen, the Perrin family. The Perrins stayed at home in the 1970s and finally had to move out because of the haunting after consulting with paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson appeared in the 2013 movie. Lorraine and Ed, who inspected the house. This article is written weird. Also, the Perrin family featured actors Ron Livingston, Lily Taylor, Joey King, and Mackenzie Foy. So there you go.
Very good. We got to do an interview with Lily on the show just before the movie came out. That was a lot of fun.
Yep.
She was very what's the word I'm looking for? Eccentric.
That's a good way of putting it.
Right. I'm like, what was it like to try to get into the character of a person who's alive? And I didn't worry about that. I was just doing a horror movie. She was like real blunt about it. Tim and I were like, okay.
I just took the check, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. So
I thought it was a pretty good horror movie. Like, the funny thing is, like, all things aside, and what's strange is, like, I watched that movie, and it's the only movie I've ever watched in my life where I knew pretty much every single person being portrayed. Right, I grew up with Ed and Lorraine Warren. I lived in the town next to them. I've met the whole Perrin family, most of them, right, at various conferences.
Dropper.
And I was talking to Spielberg about how much I love people who drop names, and you know, and I know Norma, who owned it before Corey, and I know Corey, and I'm like, so what a crazy thing to watch all that, and then and still, it was a good movie. Nothing like what really happened, but still, great movie.
Well, I mean, the fact that a family moved in and it was haunted.
Right.
And then eventually moved out was all right on task.
Smack dab accurate.
It is, but it was so well written and it was a great psychological horror movie. I really enjoyed that. Now you've actually been there, Jeff. I have not.
A bunch.
Is this really set off very isolated feeling?
So the property is beautiful, and it's kind of like I forget how many acres of land, but it's pretty wide open behind the house. The house itself is on a road that's fairly well traveled. I mean, the houses are pretty spread out, you know, so I wouldn't say it's like all on its own. I mean, there's a house across the street and a house next door. But yeah, it's not like a neighborhood. It's not like Amityville where the house is, you know,
what a disappointment.
50 feet away.
I think you're being generous. When you and I went to visit the Amityville house, I was expecting something I was expecting to be off the street, but that you could see it kind of offset on the hill far off. And man, we got there and I'm like, you and I are standing on the sidewalk. I could have gone and hit the front window.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is way too close. But we got to do it. And of course, Jeff and I stand out in front of the house and people are driving by going, keep moving, assholes. And they're yelling and shaking their fists at us.
And those were the nuns that were like,
wow.
Those were the nice ones. The mean ones were much worse.
All right, Jeff, we have phone lines that are open.
Yes. You want to do this?
Why don't we'll throw it up and we'll talk for a few seconds and then do some more news.
Let's go for it. There it is. Lines are open.
Yep. So we'll take that. That's a phone line. If you want to call in and share a fun, real supernatural story, or if you have a question for Tim, Jeff, or I, you could feel free to call in. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more of the best in paranormal talk radio. This is Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the show. We hope you enjoyed that break as much as we did. Let's see by the end of the show if we're able to do that after completing all of our drinks. Everybody's freeze. Listing and falling over. Phone number is 617-444-9683. For those of you calling after the show, good luck getting through.
So here's how it works. It's quick. Oh, we got a call.
Woohoo! All right. Here's how you got to tell people how to dial phones and call in.
From the 401. Hello, you're on the air. Say hello. Can you hear us? Hello.
Welcome to live radio.
You're on. You really are. Oh, my bad. Okay, there you are. Hold on. Hello? Can you hear us? 401 area code. Breaker.
All right, disconnect them.
All right, bye to you. Hello from the 612. Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Great. Thanks for calling in. What's your question or comment?
Well, it wasn't me who had this experience, but it was my cousins. Their dad and mom were in a nursing home, and their mom ended up passing away. And then when they went to go tell her husband, their dad, he says, I know, Joe told me. Joe was my grandpa who passed away in 2013.
Wow.
So this was already after my grandpa passed that his brother came to him and said, your wife passed away.
That's pretty cool. Has your family had paranormal experiences before?
Well, my grandpa kind of predicted that he was going to pass away and he was going to be the first one of his siblings to pass away, and he did. It was really weird. Like, we kept telling him, no, you're going to be around for a long time, and then suddenly he passed away. We didn't think he was the first one to pass.
Have we entered the Matrix? What is going on with the audio? Are you in a bottom of a well somewhere?
Maybe.
Oh, we're back.
No. Maybe. No. No. I don't know what's going on.
Wow. That's creepy.
What's going on.
Well, thank you for calling in and
creepy.
sharing.
It is creepy.
That's weird.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. You know, we asked a question a few weeks ago, Jeff. Now we'll ask of you, if a psychic was right before you that was 100% accurate and could tell you when you're going to die or how you're going to die or both, are there any three of those you would actually want to know?
Nope. Not a one. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
You know
Nope.
what's
Nope.
My friend Karen and I, she's the one that introduced me to Ouija boards. Back in the day, we used to play with the Ouija board at her house and we try to communicate. And the last time we used a Ouija board, her brother Chip had done some tarot cards for us and was doing a reading. Then he left and we were doing the Ouija. And Karen was asked, you know, she asked a couple questions. Then she asked, how old will I be when I die? And I remember specifically it pushed to the number 55 real quickly, 55, and then came back. And then she goes, do you want to know when you're going to die? I'm like, no. And I stood up. I didn't want to play with the Ouija board anymore. And Thursday, she passed away about a week and a half after her 55th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's really bizarre. I mean, I just talked to my daughter, our daughter, about that this morning. It was really a very strange moment.
So I was talking to someone about this not that long ago. I call it like psychic terrorism. You know, when a psychic wants to come up and offer you a reading that you did not ask for,
right?
Which happens to folks like us sometimes. You know what I mean? Like where you're at an event and they're like, "Listen, I have a message for you," and I'm like, "Whoa! I didn't ask for the message, so I'm not in a position to receive it." If someone told you, if someone could tell you, you're going to die at this hour, this day. Think of the stress you would have, like weeks, months, years ahead leading up to that. You wouldn't live your life. There's no point in knowing. You're better off not knowing and just live your life right to the last possible minute. A buddy of mine, his father got a cancer diagnosis. The doctor said, look, you've got cancer and it's bad. And he said, stop, just stop right there. I hear you and that's okay. I don't want to know anymore. I'm just going to go live my life. And he did. And instead of getting chemo and all this other stuff, I mean, he was older. So, you know, to be fair, instead of like, going through all that, he lived his life and then had a really bad like month before he passed away and with no regrets, regrets that he did it that way. And didn't want a prognosis, didn't want to know how long, just lived every day. And I love that. I think that's a great lesson. That's how I would do it. That's me.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we all have that in the back of our head. We'd like to know a year or a date so that we can live our life to the extent. But to me, it feels like a monkey paw question, right? Mm-hmm. What if and the monkey paw, for those of you who don't know, the curse is you ask a question of the monkey paw or ask for a wish, and you may get it, but it always has, with every wish, there comes a curse.
Right.
And my fear would be like, when will I die? You know, and it's like 2080. And I'm like, wow, I'm going to live to be 115 years old. But so I'm living life and doing whatever I want and thinking I'm pretty invulnerable until I'm 115. But what you didn't get was what condition you'll be in. So I don't want to go drink a glass of bleach thinking I'm going to survive it and, you know, be altered for eternity for another 70 years because I was stupid doing something now. It's very weird.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird position. Go ahead. Yeah, we can take a couple more
calls
right, so if you're interested.
Just so everybody knows, including Dave, all right, the lines are open again. I open them and close them because otherwise it'll just keep ringing and there's no way to stop it. So the lines are open again.
Power trip, Tim.
You want to see a power trip? Bye, Dave. Yeah, see ya.
Wow.
See ya. Yeah, he's gone. He's just gone. Wow. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Oh, and I got shuffled down to Buffalo.
Yeah, that's it. So the lines are open again. If you guys want to try calling, we'll take
617-444-9683. If you're listening to this show on podcast or in rerun, don't call because the number will go nowhere.
And it goes right to voicemail when I'm not using it. So you call till your heart's content. You're not going to reach anybody.
That's right. 617-444-9683 only during this live presentation of Cinco de Nino. All right. While we're waiting for a call, Tim, what's our next news story?
Next news story, Dave, has to do with the Travel Channel uncovering buried worlds. I take it that's the name of a new show.
Whoop. Oh, let's take a call, and then we'll go back to buried worlds right after this.
From the 708, you're live. Who's this?
Hey, it's Terry. How are you guys?
Good.
Doing great, Terry. Thanks for calling in. What's up?
Oh my gosh, I'm in Chicago. Great hearing Carrie. Thank you, Dave. That was awesome.
Carrie spelled backwards is Eric. Eric.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, I do have a paranormal story. I think that there are entities or things in my house. I have a macaw parrot who can tell me if the house or the room is active. He jumps up and he's got a lock on something, and he kind of scares me a little because I think he sees things that I obviously can't. But last night something terrified him, something awful, and he just started screaming. He's done that before. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I should get somebody to walk the house or something.
Was that Terry? Was that something terrifying that happened? You walking in with a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
No, he actually likes chicken. It's good protein.
What?
Isn't that
He does. He actually likes chicken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bring it on. Bring it on. And you're looking good.
That's great. It was a terrifying, blood curdling, ridiculous scream.
Like Tim in the bathroom.
I tend to do that after eating Kentucky Fried Chicken too. Yeah.
He almost put me on the floor. He scared the life out of me. But seriously,
you can say crap.
No, she can't. What kind of shit do you think this is?
I'm sorry.
No, I think that, and this has happened since 2012. I did a trip down to Charleston and did the city jail tour and a cemetery tour. And I have to tell you, ever since then, and I call them my squatters. Ever since then, they come back and they, show whatever these things are in my house that disrupt, a sense of normalcy, I guess. But the bird does not like it.
Suddenly, I feel like we're talking to Lou Gehrig. Today, I consider myself the most, what is it? Blessed man in the world. We're getting a weird echo going on here. So
yeah, this is imperfect.
I did have a local medium said that there were several entities that did not, say their names. They did not want to be recognized or anything. But yeah, there are several in the house. So it's an older Beverly house on the south side, Dave. But again, I don't know what to do. I'd rather they just leave. They just get out. I mean, I did yell last night because it really did scare the crap out of me. And the poor bird, he's just heavy breathing. It's just horrible. He was scared. I said, it's all right, honey. It's all right. I lied to him, of course, because something scared him.
Very cool.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, guys?
All right, we're going to let you go, and then we'll answer. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Sign me up. When is that reality show coming out?
I can't tell, but people keep saying when we get callers, there's a bunch of echo. I don't hear it. Do you hear it?
Yeah, we're getting it. It's echo-licious.
Echo-licious. All right. Well, it is what it is.
How cool would that, like Iago the parrot goes ghost hunting?
Yeah.
There's a demon in the corner, right? I would pay to watch that show. Speaking of paying to watch the show, today's episode is brought to you by too much alcohol during the coronavirus. Let's go.
I hear it kills the coronavirus. I'm just saying.
Is that what you?
Tim, what are you vaping? What's in the vape?
This is 100% THC, courtesy of the state of Minnesota.
You down with THC?
Yeah, you know me.
All right, very cool.
So, no, I shouldn't say this story. Okay, good. Moving on.
So you shouldn't say what story, Jeff?
No, because I'm conscious enough that these, not only is this live to a lot of people, but it's being recorded, and someone could listen to it later and be like, "Oh, he just blew up so and so for smoking him up at the MI Paracon."
Yeah, you should probably keep it on the low.
How about the fact? How about I think you were there, Jeff, the time that I was out at in Colorado. We were at the St. Nicholas Hotel.
Yes.
And one of the listeners, God bless his soul, came to me and legalized marijuana in the state. He says to me, "Hey, I've got some medical marijuana. Do you want to get high?"
I was there.
And Jeff and I, who are we to say no to a guest who's trying to break bread with us?
Hey, listen, we respect the laws of the land.
Right.
Is what we were doing.
Right.
So Jeff and I, Tim, were you there for this, Tim? I think you were sleeping, weren't you?
Yes, he was there. But yeah.
Yeah, because he was feeling ill. You get that altitude sickness, man. It could knock you on your butt.
Yeah, it's way up.
So poor Tim is in his room, and we're in this little suite. And he's in his room, and we're all puff passing in this deal. And I just had the strangest experience. Legally, it was legal. And my feet would no longer touch the ground. I was sitting on a chair. Do you remember that, Jeff? I felt like
wait, let me take it from here. So Dave's looking around the room and he goes, "Are my feet on the ground? I don't think my feet are on the ground." And we're like, "Dave, your feet are on the ground." So wait, listen. So here's what happened. All this is going on. We're at 9,000 plus feet. I've been at altitude. I know how it goes. And they're like, "Hey, you want to go do this in the, you want to go adhere to Colorado state laws in this suite over here with us?" And I said, I don't really think so. And then Bill Chappell, am I blowing him up? Yeah, what the hell? Bill Chappell's like, "I'll go." And and I'm like, "You're going?" Well, if the secrets of the universe, Bill Chappell, if the secrets of the universe are going to get revealed, I don't want to miss that, right?
Right.
What if he's like E equals MC squared? I'll tell you what it really equals.
Right.
I'm
like, can't miss that.
I don't want to miss that. And then Dave's like, "Are my feet on the ground?" That's the only truth I took from that night, was Dave wondering if his feet were on the ground.
It was a valid point. I couldn't. Did you just spew? I couldn't. I felt like I had become like Lily Tomlin's character in that giant chair, Edith Ann. I just felt like I was like, my arms were way up here on the armrest, and my feet were like dangling, and the chair was like, the floor was about here, and I could not. And I remember at one point, Tim's like, "Would you shut up? I'm trying to sleep."
Rodney, any relation to Eric? I'm sorry. It's Cinco de Nino. I have
Cinco de Nino. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Is he using Invisitex? What was that all about?
I don't know. It was probably some emoji, but I just wanted to say hi.
Who are we to guess? All right. With that said, let's get moving. We've got more fun stuff to share.
Wait, no, this right here.
I got so stoned at Michigan Paracon via medical. Yes. Okay. So here's the deal. My wife, God love her, she has Crohn's disease and rheumatoid arthritis. So this is how I caught her, folks. Everybody asking, how did Darkness Dave catch an amazing, beautiful young wife who 15 years his junior? It's because she looks like she's 25 years my junior, but she's actually like a 95-year-old woman in a really beautiful 38-year-old body. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Where am I? Oh, right there. Yeah. So she comes cruising up.
Winnie.
And Tim,
does he smell like me?
Tim says, "Hey, well, I've got my medical vape. Do you want to try?" But doesn't give her any other tips or hints.
No,
so she takes his vape.
Don't twist it.
Don't you lie.
Winnie. You're going to need some Cheetos and some Twinkies.
Take one and bring it back. She took 3 and brought it back.
And then my wife is like a $105 in weight.
Pass the touchy from the left-hand
She's
side.
5 feet tall
Yeah.
and annihilated. She hands back the vape to Tim, and he goes, "Oh, was it good?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm starting to feel better. I took 3 hits," and Tim looks at me and he goes, "She did what?"
I told her one.
And she took 3 hits off of this vape pen, and then she was skipping the light fantastic. As a matter of fact, one point I had to drag her over to get her something to eat, and we're sitting there, and I've got the video. It's amazing. I've got this video of her sitting at the table, and she's kind of cross-eyed and bleary-eyed, and somebody's singing "Sweet Caroline,"
Bum, bum, bum.
right in the other room, and all of a sudden she goes, "I'm really feeling Neil Diamond." My wife has 3 stages of drinking or high. They are hot, sexy. They are one-eyed closed so she can focus. I call that the Sammy Davis Jr. Then she goes and evolves even further into Sammy, because later on she starts with the janky shoulders and the, "Hey man, I'm loving this chick." Right? So she is completely obliterated, and I'm trying to feed her cafeteria pizza at 2 a.m. to get her sober again. Good times. Good times. Yeah.
It is good time.
So that was a lot of fun. But we have more stories to share. Tim, supernatural news. Where are we going next?
Wait, before we get to that, can we just get to
Who's
this?
the host of this show, Belanger? Oh yeah, you can never get enough of that photograph.
Yeah. That's for all you listeners out there, it's a picture of Dave Schrader and myself and Chip Coffee.
Yeah. It's a great picture, one of my favorites. Tim,
Yeah.
Jeff and I are known to wear matching T-shirts at these events. So I figured, because everybody
We
always
wear matching
questioned-
shirts every day, except
Yeah.
today.
Jeff and I decided, we'd start, matching shirts. So we'd start wearing some cool shirts together. And because of our hijinks and high hilarity, people have questioned often our sexuality. So we decided to define it once and for all. We wore powder blue. Stop it. We wore like these powder blue shirts with a rainbow unicorn, and it states clearly "totally straight" right on the front of the shirt.
Totally straight, right there.
Totally
There it is.
straight.
I mean,
Yeah.
if the T-shirt doesn't clarify,
No,
I don't know what else we can do.
nothing will. So that's sometimes when we touch. That's our fun time.
Heartbeat!
Yeah. So let it go. That's our fun times. All right. I have got my second rum and coke going. The Kraken has been refilled. Tim, what drink are you still on at this point?
I'm getting to the end of
Getting to
drink
the end. Come on, man. We're already 47 minutes in. You should be into drink number 2 by now.
My God. Tim,
Let's see it, Tim.
read-
Iki, which I believe is Japanese for drink or kill yourself. I'm not sure which one.
It's gone.
Nice. Nicely. But you've got a blender on hand. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see the lean in, Jeff. Lean in for the hot box. All right. Let's go with the next. Let's go with the next story, Tim. What have we got next?
Oh, sure. Let's go into the next.
Well, pour yourself a drink. Can't you tee it up for us?
Sending me mixed signals. I feel like Jeff Belanger.
Let's see. James Russell says, Dave, I don't know how you had 8 kids. I'm tired with just one 5-month-old. He is teething now. Well, James, in all honesty, all I did was lay there and sweat. So I really have put no work into any of this. Thank God for the women in my life that are working. And I do want to say, again, since we're right on the heels of Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to the lovely women that I've spawned with.
Oh, God.
May you live long and happy, fruitful lives. Thank you very much. My wife, I got to tell you, honestly, through all of this, my wife is a superhero. I joke about her shuffling around like an 85-year-old, but this woman gets up every day, takes care of all of us, does what she needs to do. She's a homeschool teacher for our son, Max. Man, right there. I don't know about you, Jeff, Tim. The unsung heroes of this current dilemma are definitely teachers, because
Oh yeah.
if I had any hair, it would have fallen out trying to teach anything to my kids. I listen to my wife teaching my kids the new curriculums. I can't follow, and I know math, I know science, I know history. I have no clue what these people are talking about.
Dude, listen, I have a theory that, there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around right now. My conspiracy theory is that teachers are behind this whole corona thing. And I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Stay with me.
I'm with you.
They are the winners, the overwhelming winners. Tell me this: next time there's like a budget vote in your town, like for the the little town elections that nobody votes in, like 37 people vote in that. I'm not talking when it coincides with state or federal elections. I mean the little town ones. And the school budget's up, and you're going to be like, you're going to race now. You're like, hire more teachers, more money for the schools. Hell yes. The teachers are behind coronavirus. They're the big winners.
No, that's bad news, but I agree with you. Yeah, he's definitely smoking something, Tim. But no, you're right. And it's listen, our delivery people, our grocers, our store owners, our frontline medical, our law enforcement, everybody out there doing the job they have to do in this trying time. Thank you from the bottom of all three of our hearts, our dark, dead, black hearts. Thank you very much. And C.W. Yeager wants to see you shave your head on today's show, Jeff. But teachers, my God, I will be voting in the next local election because you deserve every penny that you get. And I have teachers, friends across the United States and around the world, including Canada. And I've got to tell you, I have a full newfound
Canada's
respect.
in the world?
That's why I included it outside. It's like
it's
like the Uranus of jobs, or states rather.
Right. Yeah.
Some jobs.
No, it's teaching. Yeah. My God, you're amazing. Thank you.
Superheroes. And that's
why
I'm
betting teachers at this point are hating Common Core math as much as parents, because now they used to have to just teach it to our kids. Now they have to teach it to the parents to teach it to the kids.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to realize chishin is not a word. They're chishin the kids.
So at what point does the audience have to like drink a lot just to understand what we're saying? Because did you guys? We've all been there, right? You ever go to a party and you're really late, and you're like, oh, the party started at 4, and I'm getting there like around 8 because I had stuff going on. And you walk in and you're like, hey, everybody, and they're like, which.
I want to create an app. I'm going to talk to Bill Chappell because I want to create a drunk person to sober person translating kit, so that when you're translating, you're wonderful, and I'm so thankful to be a part of this.
Thank you for
event.
coming. I'm sorry you're a little late, but it's good to see you.
Here's a paranormal fun story. Our very first event we did at the Stanley Hotel was right after the live Ghost Hunters event at Stanley, which was the very first, I think, live Halloween special. And we went in there with the Ghost Hunters. Steve Gonsalves decided to stay on for a few days. Well, when you're at the Stanley, there are two major things that can happen to you. Jeff and I talk about the real Stanley effect, which has nothing to do with the supernatural. It has the fact that
it's huge.
No matter, you could not eat the entire time you're there. You are pooping crayon shavings from 3rd grade. The altitude is taking everything out of your system.
Our theory was it was precognitive poops.
Right? We're borrowing from the future.
Like we got together like the next morning and we're like, dude, I didn't eat enough to poop that much. Like I'm pooping food I have yet to eat.
Shawarma? When did I eat shawarma? But
I haven't had corn in weeks.
I'm already lost on where this story was going. What were we talking about?
The Stanley Hotel, Steve Gonsalves.
So Steve Gonsalves comes, and I bring my son, who's about to ship off to the Navy. Literally, this is his last event as a civilian, and then he's going to ship off for 5 years to the Navy. So he comes with me to the event, and people are buying us all apple teenies. This is it's like a Jolly Rancher green apple flavor in a glass.
That's so random, Brian.
It is, Brian, but thank you. He's giving us the Arthur treatment, right?
Is that what happens when you get caught between the moon and New York City?
That's right.
Nothing you can do but fall in love. Go on.
That's right. So Steve Gonsalves comes staggering across the bar because he's on his like 32nd apple teeny. And Jeff, Tim, explain to us what the high altitude does to you with alcohol consumption. Jeff, let's start with you. Give us a scientific approach.
Yes. So E equals MC squared, and 1 drink equals 3 drinks when you're at high altitude at the Stanley. So you go and you think like, oh, I can have 3-4 beers easily and I'm fine. No, you can't. You just had 12.
Yes. And Tim can attest to that because I remember the first time at the Stanley for Tim was quite the liquid adventure.
F's you up.
Yeah, it does F you up. So Steve Gonzalez comes wobbling across the floor to me, and he's like, Dave, mother Schrader, this is an amazing event. And I go, Steve, this is my son, Cliff, who's about to ship off into the Navy as soon as he goes home. Steve Gonzalez goes, I just want to thank you very much for serving our country. And I think that what you're doing is very important. It has not gone unnoticed. So thank you so much for doing what you're about to do. Hey, Jason Hawes, I see you. And he stumbles off. But for 10 seconds, completely sober, said what he needed to say and moved on. It was amazing. Chimp Kavafe says, hello, Mr. Schrader. Hello, Dennis. Hello, man who looks like a little boy.
That's me, I guess.
It is. You never age. Are you a vampire?
I might be.
Although I will say this. Recently, I've been going through my computers, clearing out photographs, and I uncovered pictures of Tim and I from our first year on the air. And aside from a little bit more white in my goatee, no, not that picture.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The white in my goatee, Tim, I don't notice much difference. You and I have aged like a fine wine.
I've gained some weight.
Fat, slow-moving fine wine, but still, we have aged as such. Speaking of, let's do this. We've got more supernatural news, and trust me, it's about to go off the rails, folks. Let's take a quick break. We've got more to discuss right here on the best in paranormal talk radio. You're listening to Darkness Radio Live, Cinco de Nino. I love that everybody ends this as though it's a 1980s movie and John Bender from The Breakfast Club has just thrust his fist into the air into a freeze frame for that moment. So we're back. This is great. Oh, Heidi says Jeff is this generation's Dick Clark.
Damn right I am.
He's definitely this
I get
generation's
called Dick
Dick.
all the time.
That is correct.
It means he's destined for a horrible, horrible stroke.
What was that last one? I popped up and it was gone. I didn't see it.
Sometimes I just click, like it's just about to. I don't even know. Like it's
Yeah. All right. Tim's got some more news, and this is where it starts going off the rails. We've had some normal stories.
Oh.
Tim, where are we going next in the world of supernatural news?
Are we still going to do the Tribal Channel story, or am I?
Was there more to it?
The Buried Worlds. We never got.
Oh yeah. Let's do that one. Do that.
Are we
first.
still on?
Who are you people? What are you doing in my living room? All right, Tim, go ahead.
Chimp Kofefe is a monkey psychic. I'm fascinated.
I know. Don't be. Just move on.
Okay, I'll move on. Discovery-owned U.S. cable net Travel Channel has ordered Buried Worlds with Don Wildman, a series that explores supernatural phenomenon.
Come on, Jeff.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Around the world. The show sees Wildman venture into remote regions and countries, including Peru, Haiti, and Bulgaria, to investigate stories of ghosts, demons, and witches. The series is made up of 7-hour-long episodes. No,
It's 7 hours long?
Yes, it's 7 hours long and just one episode, with a 2-hour season finale, 9 hours in all, and is produced by Red Hour owned Karga 7 Pictures. Liz Massey, Sarah Weatherby, Kelly McPherson, Emery Saheen, and Jason Wolf.
It doesn't matter. We don't know who any of them are. Don Wildman. That's all we need to know.
They all want credit.
Follow each other on Twitter. Hi, Don.
They all
Nobody.
Credit.
Trust me. Nobody cares about the writers, the researchers, the location scouts.
Nope.
Jeff and I can attest to that.
Promise.
Because we've both worked behind the scenes on Ghost Adventures. I had 3 years. Jeff has had 217 years behind the camera working on Ghost Adventures.
They're all wanting some credit, Dave. They all want love.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's set to air on Travel Channel from June 8th on.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Looks like a good show. I'm excited to see it. All right.
Good.
Why don't we throw open the phone lines, Jeff, while Tim reads the next story?
All right, your funeral.
Okay, go.
All right.
So if you have a story to share, supernatural story, or you just want to ask any one of us a question, feel free to call in right now. We'll listen to your question. We'll hang up on you, mock you, and then maybe answer your question. 617-444-9683. 617.
We'll limit the echo. So tell your story, and then we'll shut you off because obviously we're getting some feedback.
617-444-9683. Those of you listening on the replay and podcast, don't call in. All right, Tim, where are we beginning next?
Disney has a new Haunted Mansion board game materializing later this year. For all of you who are bored at home, I just see what I got.
We have a call, Tim, right at the beginning of your story again.
Okay.
Take it.
From the 416 area code, you are live with Dave, Jeff, and Tim.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, hold on. I gotta kill this other one. Go ahead.
Hi, boys. It's Grace from Toronto.
Hey, Ray.
Toronto. Welcome to
Hello,
the show,
how are you
Canada.
guys?
Good. How's it down by Texas?
Okay. So, I just actually wanted to say hi, and I'm so happy you guys are doing this.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, it's going awesome. Northern Texas is awesome. It's
No protection is awesome.
but, whatever.
Yes, it is.
And I'm
It really
doing
is.
She said Northern Texas. Quit interrupting her.
Sorry.
All the feeling, none of the
There's
responsibility.
a huge delay, actually.
I know, it's very weird. That's why. Okay, so share your story, and then we're going to hang up on you with much love.
Okay, thanks. So, the story I have is about a year ago. One of my friends and I decided to take her to this great place, notoriously known for being haunted. It's in Hamilton, Ontario. And we decided it's the first time her doing a kind of an investigation. So I was helping her kind of get her feet, into this. And as we went, there's a few of us, we decided to go to this one place that has a history of a hanging and a fire that decimated this whole area, this whole house. So there is a historical plaque that kind of tells you what happened to this area. Now, about a few years ago, they decided to do renovations on it. They kept the original facade and kind of kept this original look to it. And so as my friend was talking, and I was right behind her, she was reading the plaque, and this is around dusk. I was telling her about the history. I've been going there for years, and she's reading this plaque. And as she turned to me to talk about, the history of it, she saw my face because I looked up to her, and I just stood, and I just could not, I was just almost like a deer in a headlight because I just saw what came right behind her was a shadow figure that came right from behind her, and went from, the center of her right to the left, and then went right to the forest. And I kind of sat there. My friend, she gets really freaked out. She was scared. She's like, don't tell me if something's there. And I kind of sat there and I said nothing to her. But my friend, he saw my reaction. He's like, did you see something? I said, yeah, I did. So we decided it was a beautiful summer's night, full moon. We're doing all the cool stuff, just hanging out. And as we were leaving, we heard a couple of rustling. And you're not really supposed to be there at nighttime because you can actually almost kind of see it as, illegally going through. Anyhow, as we're leaving to go for the night, there was a bunch of investigators. And it was actually, these two guys were sitting there and they had their cameras and they were recording. So we stopped and talked to them, and I said to him, oh, do you guys live around here? And they was, yeah. And he's like, oh, what are you guys doing here? I'm explaining my friend's first time. And as we were about to leave, he's like, can I ask you guys a question? I said, yeah. I goes, did you see anything? I said, no. My friend was saying, no, they haven't seen anything. And my friend looked at me, my friend John looked at me and said, well, I actually did. I thought I saw, I'm not too sure if it was or not, but I thought I saw, and he actually finished the sentence for me. He's like, a shadow figure. I said, yes, I did. And he goes, well, that is known for that area. That place specifically has been known for seeing shadow figures. And so it was pretty cool. The first time I brought my friend there, first time of her ever seeing anything, experiencing things, there was a shadow figure. And now this place has been on shows like Creepy Canada and a whole bunch of other paranormal shows because it's so highly active. And so, yeah, so that was my story.
Very
I'd be
cool.
more impressed if it was on, you can't do that on TV, which also was
I know
filmed
long
in
and
Canada.
rant. But I
No,
just had to
thank
share it with
you.
guys.
Thank you for sharing it.
You
All
were
right.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Take
Bye.
care.
Jeremy DeRocher. Jeremy Deschner wants to know if you're drinking your drink with a pen.
Stirring.
Yeah.
I was
stirring.
actually evening out the ice with a pen.
All right. Let's clink it and go back in.
Stirred, not shaken.
That's right. I was just going like this. So
he pulls a knife on you, you pull a gun on him. You put one of yours in the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way, Mr. Nash. All right, Tim. So what was the next story you had to share with us? And thank you for calling in. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's what she said. All right. Disney has a new Haunted Mansion board game materializing later this year. Funko, the folks who make toys of just about everything, except for us, recently unveiled frightful fun that's sure to excite foolish mortals everywhere. A brand new Haunted Mansion board game haunts stores later this year. Based on the beloved Disney's Haunted Mansion, this all-new first afterlife adventure arrives this October. Calls of the Spirits game promises family fun for ghosts and mortals 9 years old or older. Perhaps the most favorite attraction created, Disney's Haunted Mansion enjoys a haunted host of fans. The allure of this ghostly haunted house spawned scores of spirited merchandise and collectibles. Thus, it came as a pleasant paranormal-powered surprise. It's too many peas when you're half in the bag.
Only half in the bag. Where's your commitment to the job, son?
It's gone. When ITM learned of a beautiful brand new board game haunting our way this October, of course, the mansion is stranger to this type of foolish mortal entertainment. Popular pastimes, pleasure. Why all the peas? What's up with the peas?
We all need a good pee after drinking.
That's true. I will need one in about 10 minutes. Oh my God, look at this. Of course, the mansion is stranger to this.
Get away from my man, Winnie.
Mortal entertainment, popular pastimes, pleasures of Clue in life, or unlife in this case, fell victim to fiendishly fun mansion makeovers. Is this the guy who used to do the Batman voiceovers who wrote this?
I can only hope.
Enter Funko, toy maker of all things pop culture. They've already dug a few plots in the mansion graveyard by way of several spirited pop figures. Later this year, the Funko finds fearsome fun for families with Call of the Spirits, a Disney Haunted Mansion-based board game. Although Madame Leota's crystal ball went dark when we asked her to point her powers of prognostication towards Funko, their website yielded only box art, by the way. She was able to advise us where to turn. Shovels in hand, our next stop was the cemetery, which was a website of GTS distribution. There we were able to dig up a bit more dirt on this ghostly new game. According to their Afterlight attestation, my screen blew up. Gameplay requires 2 to 6 bodies, living preferred, and lasts about a half an hour. Apparently, according to listed contents, each player receives their own game piece and reference card. A trio of game-specific card decks keep their adventure moving. Hitchhiking Ghost Deck, a Ghost Deck, and Haunt Deck. Additional intriguing ingredients include bid clocks, 2 of them, Hitchhiking Ghost token, instructions, and, of course, the game board. GTS. Also.
So this is just the new generation of nerds it'll take till their 30s to get laid. We'll be playing this game.
Essentially.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Sounds good, actually. It'll be in our Darkness Radio Amazon shop. I'm not going to lie. We're going to put it in there because it sounds awesome.
You can get it in stores and online October 1st.
I have a story from the Haunted Mansion.
Sure. So do I, but let's hear yours first.
Okay. So a friend of mine, a paranormal person who used to be the ride manager there, was telling me that very regularly, like every few weeks, they would have to shut the whole ride down because at Disney, they've got, as you know, everything's being watched. You can't pick your nose without someone knowing it. I've tried. And so people will be on the Haunted Mansion ride and they'll see this bag of powder being dumped over the side of the ride when they're in the Haunted Mansion. And they know immediately what's going on. As soon as it's done, they stop the ride and they go in. People dump the ashes of their loved ones inside the Haunted Mansion. It happens all the time. They catch it usually within minutes, and then they go in with big industrial vacuums and they suck up Uncle Larry and he's gone. So anyway, Haunted Mansion. And we'll be back right after this.
When I die, Tim, here's my theory. I would like you to cremate me and sprinkle me all over Jeff Belanger.
I would like to sprinkle your ashes over a bowl of chili so I can eat it.
Skyline Chili. Has there ever been a better bonding moment for the three of us than Skyline Chili?
Oh, God. Oh, we were in Ohio, and we were in Ohio, and we stopped at Skyline Chili first. That was our first stop before going to the Mansfield Reformatory, before going to prison. Speaking of, God, I don't even wait. So Dave and I spent time in prison after Skyline Chili. Anyway, totally straight.
I'll drink the totally straight.
Cheers.
But did you go to solitary first? That's the question.
So yeah, Dave, when you die, I want to sprinkle your ashes over a bowl of chili so you can
I can be ingested by you and farted out to the afterlife.
You can tear me up one more time.
Oh God, it's so wrong. So wrong.
God, well, we'll edit that out.
No, not at all. Not at all. You're listening to the very best in paranormal talk radio.
Are they
believe it or
really?
not?
Are you sure?
Cinco de Nino has entered a new level with video. For those of you following, this is on our YouTube channel, Darkness Radio. You can find it on there. It's got Scully, our little mascot, and you can follow us and watch this video. So that's what I have to share with you. Here's the noise that Tim hates most that I do on air. Are you ready? That's my snake impersonation, and it makes him very...
It just sounds sloppy.
Very uncomfortable. Tim, this is a successful Cinco de Nino Cinco reunion, I feel. Do you?
It's the best one I've had today so far.
Drink up, gentlemen. All right. So phone lines are open. If you're interested in calling in and sharing a paranormal exchange with us, we may respond. We may not. 617-444-9683. 617-444-9683. All right, quick. What is your COVID example of cool things to watch? Mine is Dead Like Me.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my God. It is such a great series. Dead Like Me is about a young girl who is killed by, I think, the toilet seat of a satellite crashing on her. And then she becomes a reaper.
You had me at a low. Are you kidding? We have a call.
Whoa, we have a caller. Hold on. Take it, but I'm not ready to give up my mantle of conversation.
From the 717 area code, you're on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, I have more of I'm looking for advice here.
Okay, looking for advice. What's your name? Where are you from?
Welcome to Love Line.
Yeah, from Pennsylvania.
From Pennsylvania, okay.
Yes. So I am part of a small amateur ghost hunting group.
Okay.
And we've done a small ghost hunt, and we're looking to investigate some larger areas. But my wife is kind of concerned that I'm going to bring something home with me. Do you have any advice on easing her concern?
Okay.
I will hang up and listen off air. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Okay, great call. Advice for how to not bring something home. Dave?
I got nothing. Listen, I don't, how can you tell that it's following you from the haunted location? It's not like you can see it and then see the string that tethers it to Waverly Hills, Eastern State Penitentiary, the Mansfield Reformatory, Stanley Hotel. But if you are open to it, maybe a ghost locally sees you and you have this ambient Budweiser glow to you, and it follows you and it comes up to you and wants to share its information. I have no way to promise that won't happen. I've had weird things happen after an investigation, but I'm very cautious. I've got a lot of kids and an amazing wife. So when I go, I do a prayer of protection, and this is how it goes. Lord, I just ask that you clear me of any energy that is not mine, any spirits that may be lost. Lord, I ask that you just open the light and bring forth their friends and relatives and help to usher them home. Amen. And that's it. It's plain, it's simple, it's clear, it's easy to do, and that's what I do. And then I bring home whatever demon is stuck with me. And I figure, fuck it. The family has to deal with it. It's not my problem at this point. I did everything I could contractually.
Well done. No, I think there's something to that. One of the things that happens when people go to haunted places, especially as part of an event or whatever, and we've seen this, Dave, a ton of times, right? Where suddenly people start getting messages and stuff that have nothing in the world to do with the location, right? Like they're like, they get very personal messages. And I think the reason for that is that, you're in a haunted place. You're allowing yourself to be open to stuff that's always there. But here, like you're tuning in, and some of that stuff that follows you home is stuff that was always with you, I think, and you're just kind of like in a more open state. So we take time to sort of close down again after an event. I think it's a lot more to do with us being open as opposed to something literally following you and staying put where you are.
Tim, your thoughts?
See, I'm of a mixed bag of this. I believe you have to have not only close yourself down, like Jeff said, but I think if you're not of
Dave, look who's weighing in.
Wow. Christopher Lutz from the Amityville Horror. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of this. Go ahead, Tim. Not meaning to distract from you.
Yeah, no, that's a good point as well. I think Chris is onto something there as well. The other part of that I would weigh in with too is if you're not of a person that's particularly strong in their faith, and I don't care if you believe in a rock or whatever you believe in, if you're not strong in your faith, if you go into a place and you're anchored in a faith that you say that prayer of protection, or you want to cast your prayer of protection in there, I don't believe you're truly protected. I don't think it's doing anything for you. And so you can go into a haunted house all you want and then come home and try to protect yourself. If you're trying to cast that white light around yourself.
I love that Randy J. Cole has to say, why not bring something home? You may get an extra $1,200 for a stimulus payment.
I don't know that I've ever gotten $1,200 for bringing home an attack.
Still waiting for the first one.
Yeah. But I don't think that, it's going to help you one way or another if you're not grounded in anything. So
Lacey wants to know, have you guys ever heard that pregnant women are more sensitive to experiencing a supernatural experience? I know leading up to it, they're calling to Jesus a lot, but I can't speak to one. Wow. Really? That's the line? I finally.
She asked you a serious question.
She did. Well, you know what? I would say, okay, I actually have a serious answer to that. So wouldn't you think like a woman who's pregnant is hyper aware of her surroundings? Has to be. And had to be for thousands and thousands of years, has to be like super, super open, because if there's any danger, it's not just you, like it's your child that's in danger too. So suddenly, like, you're open to everything. And so, yeah, that totally makes sense to me. Shut up,
totally
Dave.
Open.
God, you know what? I could shut you both off right now. I could end this whole thing.
And I'll be sorry.
That was a good question. Thank you, Lacey.
It is a great question. To Lacey's question.
Yes. I wouldn't blame it a bit if you unfollowed them and followed me.
Them?
Yeah.
Look, I'm shaking my fist in righteous indignation.
Follow me on it. Instagram and Facebook. There it is. Anyway, go ahead.
All right. Go ahead, Tim.
What? I was done with my point. You were the one who was steamrolling me. I was done. Mr. Dennis, can you introduce me to Lacey Whitmore?
No.
Why is it up to me?
Suddenly, this has become a paranormal dating site, and that's the wrong point. Jeremy Deschner says pregnant women would just be angry at you bringing home a ghost. That sounds like a problem you have to work through, Jeremy, not us.
Why would we be bringing home pregnant women ghosts?
Jeff Johnson says my wife became more sensitive when pregnant, and stated that stayed that way.
Yeah.
If I were to read it through sober glasses,
spelled it right too.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have dipped my glasses in alcohol prior to this. So yeah. All right, we've got more weird stories to share. I know Jeff is prepared to do a minute or an hour 30, but we may go 8 hours. I don't know. We can't be sure. Yeah. Jeff, not Jeff, Tim Dennis, what's our next weird news story?
We're going to go to Indonesia, Dave, where
of course we are.
I could go to Indonesia right now if you'd like me to.
Nancy, how dare you say I'm effed up? I believe I'm more G'd up or perhaps even D'd up, but I can't guarantee that I'm effed up.
You went the wrong direction. You should have went H'd up. Yeah. Indonesia is locked the coronavirus quarantine breakers into haunted houses, Dave. So there's your punishment right there. No jail time. No.
So the idea is I got to stop hitting the mute button.
Yeah.
If the idea is that you've broken corona, you have to get locked into a haunted house.
Yeah. If you've broken quarantine, you're now going to break a small little package in your pants from a ghost.
I don't know what you've heard, but it's a lie.
I didn't mean like that. I meant in the back part of your drawers, not the front part. If the threat of a global coronavirus pandemic isn't enough to keep some people indoors, what about the threat of being locked up with ghosts in a haunted house? Lawmakers in Indonesia's Sragen region have started confining quarantine violators to abandoned buildings on the island of Java, where local legends suggest the adobes may be haunted. It's part of a novel effort to motivate a superstitious population through the supernatural when scientific arguments fall short. Nice name. Kusdinar Untung Uni Sukawati.
Tim just summoned a demon.
I did.
God, say it 2 more times and we're all going to die.
He's the regional head of Sragen, issued the order earlier this week amid a surge of newcomers from other lockdown parts of the country, including the capital city of Jakarta. The order was put in place amid concern that visitors to the island of Java were not self-isolating for 14 days upon their arrival. If they disobey self-isolation orders, several villages have asked for my permission to quarantine them in an abandoned cemetery, or rather an abandoned elementary school. Could be a cemetery too, nobody's there, or abandoned houses, Sukawati told the Tribune outlet, as translated by Coconuts News. I don't know if you guys have ever subscribed to Coconuts News, but it's a great newspaper.
Coconuts. Coconuts News. Why did we not come up with that news service, Jeff?
I was the editor.
Were you the editor for a while, Jeff?
Yeah, it was a lark.
Yeah. The quote is, I gave my permission. If need be, they should be locked inside in a haunted house if necessary.
Wait a minute. Michelle Weber something is worried about our livers. Listen, if our livers were so important to us, don't you think that they'd be telling us not to drink all of this?
I gave that up for Lent.
Michelle Campbell
Weber.
It's not a Weber grill.
So can we be real for a minute? Can we do this?
How are we going to stop you? You're in charge.
That's true.
My show, but you can disconnect.
I can just mute you. Like,
I mean, and by my show, I mean,
Darkness show. Radio. Yeah, no. So my concern is that I know I've been drinking more than usual. I mean, more than like a dark.
I demand proof.
I'll show you, Schrader. Oh yeah, watch this. So the thing is, if we keep doing this, man, I'm doing the speakeasy like 3 nights a week, and you're like, hey, let's do it Saturday too, and I'm like, oh man, Dave, okay, sure. And people are like, we should do this every day.
Yeah,
and then,
we should.
Like, quarantine was lifted months ago, and we're like, we're just doing this, man. Do you ever get worried?
Of what? Liver failure?
Not just for us, for everybody. Are we encouraging people to like drink their faces off in front of the internet all afternoon?
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
All right.
Let's be much more serious.
Yeah.
Downtrodden.
Thank you.
What story do we have next, Tim Dennis, regarding the strange?
With this one,
I'm done with it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Short.
I have ADHD, all drunk, hyper dissociative behavior.
See what I put up with,
activity.
Jeff?
Oh, look at Nikki blowing up her husband.
If Eric can drink as much as he does, y'all are fine. That's right from the Canadian-Texas border, Tim.
I see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Screw Indonesia. Let's go forward.
Mm-hmm.
We move on from Indonesia to Jose Canseco, which is essentially the same thing.
Which is a natural progression, of course.
It is, yeah.
You are the king of segues, Tim.
I am, really. Yeah. That's
So wait a minute. In Indonesia, if you screw up
yeah.
and you refuse to self-isolate,
Yes.
the story is that they put you into a haunted location.
Exactly.
I got no problems with that. Jeff, how about you?
One last thought here, Nancy. Yeah, so what? I don't know. I care. I care about you guys. I care about everybody. There it is. There it is.
Jeff is the care bearer of the paranormal.
Whatever. Just keep drinking and reading your funny stories, Tim.
Here's to drinking and reading funny stories.
I love that you care, Jeff. That's me.
How come Tim isn't drinking with us, Jeff? I feel like he's
isolating stories.
Yeah, someone's got to.
Someone has to be the adult. I didn't sign on to this.
You know, just say it. I'm ready to read when you
are. Nikki Gregg wants to know, when does season 2 of Holzer Files begin? We're hoping season 2 begins this fall. We filmed 5 episodes before the shutdown of the coronavirus.
See, and this is the other point. Michelle doesn't drink. Something more needed. So now she's moving on to hard drugs. So this is like a gateway show into like black tar heroin.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Oh, and now I got a T-shirt coming. Care Bear the Paranormal.
That's my daughter.
I want to have like the bear and then like the ghost on it.
No, you got to have a bear with a marijuana leaf projecting out. Woo, 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 woo.
Damn it, Tim.
Did you like that sound? Woo, 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 woo.
I didn't know we had sound effects now.
It's true.
Are we taking calls or are we done with that?
Let's do it. Take a call while Tim's reading the story.
No, they'll call right now.
Okay, let's take a call right now.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Why not? Yeah.
617-444-9683 is the number to call in if you'd like to be a part of today's show. What have we got for us?
Chip is on point with his comments.
He likes my nose hair grooming habits. I do have to tell you, I spend a lot more time. You know what's weird about old age is that the hair up here is like, but the hair down here is like, let's do it. I'm thinking of growing my eyebrow hair long enough that I can sweep it up over the top, and my nose hair long enough that I could sweep it up to make it look like mutton chops.
Whoever just called, try again because you just missed us.
Are you sure?
It was a 256 area code. Do it again.
Is that Alabama?
I don't know. Jeff is, I am too good for this. Good
wow.
point.
Jay Harrison, let me say this to you.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right.
Yikes.
Yeah.
There he is. Okay, who do we got here? From the 541 area code.
541.
541, you're live. Who are you? Where are you from?
I am Nancy Hayes from Southern Oregon.
Nancy Hayes from Southern Oregon. Well, thanks for calling.
Yeah, this is awesome. You guys ought to do this every Saturday.
Oh, I can't afford it. You know how much booze costs, and we're not making any money anymore.
I'll send you some.
Okay. Well, that was fun.
That was it? That was
I don't know.
The call?
You still there? Hello? Breaker 19. This here's a rubber duck. I think we lost. We lost.
All right. No good. Call back.
Oh, call back.
Here's the phone number. It's free. What is it? What is it, Jeff?
There it is. 617-444-9683. The lines are open again.
Don't call if you're listening to the replay of the show because I don't know if
you'll just get voicemail.
Yeah, you'll just get voicemail.
and you'll hear my dulcet tones.
And if you call right now, everybody gets to hear da 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 da. Is that the beginning of Inagata Davida?
Yeah. So yeah, Brian. Yeah, we won't make it. We won't make it if we did this.
Hey, listen. What has your liver ever done for you?
Nothing.
Think about it. Livers, they deserve a beating like they owe you money. All right, Tim Dennis.
Yeah.
Supernatural News Saturday. That's the name of the show.
Yep.
And it is Cinco de Nino, the Cinco anniversary of said date. What have we got next?
I don't know, but Thing is on your shoulder.
It's just a hand. It's like Thang. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Thing.
Dave, you got hair.
Jose Canseco is worried about Bigfoot.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
Who isn't?
The struggle's real, Jose.
It really is. And by the way, aliens may have coronavirus.
What?
Yeah, it's true. It's all true. It's all goddamn true. Oh,
We'd like to join the show.
pizza's here.
All right. Welcome
From
to
the
the show.
678 area code. Who are you? Where are you from?
Hey, this is Cheryl Heinowski, and I'm from Ackworth, Georgia.
Hey, Cheryl in Georgia.
I
How
can
are you?
drink to that.
I am having a blast listening to y'all. You're making my day. I am laughing so much. It's great.
Well, thanks for
Almost
calling.
as good as the makeover. That was awesome too.
Dave and I got a makeover, and it was our daughters both.
It was awesome.
I felt pretty. I'm going to be honest. I felt pretty.
You both were. It was a hard vote, man. I had to really. It was a tie, really, and the girls did a wonderful job.
I understand.
So I have a story for you, and this was from, well, gosh, I was like 23. I had a baby that was about 4 months old, and I have always experienced paranormal at night, like night terrors and stuff. And this particular night, I was asleep. My husband was next to me. The ceiling fan was in the middle of the room, which was to my left, and my husband was on my right. And in my sleep, I started screaming bloody murder, which is typically what I do. And my husband went to reach across me to pull the ceiling fan pull cord. And when he did, he actually bumped into something that was under the blankets on top of me, which he felt it was like a human person. So I was when this happens, I wake up and I don't know what's going on. I just know, like, whoa, what's going on? And he'll say, you started screaming again. So he was really convinced it was a human. So he got up and he was like, I felt whatever it was. I touched the blanket. It was, 4 feet above you. And he got up and he got the shotgun. He went through the house and he looked in every room. And I was left in our bedroom just sitting there like, what just happened?
When
he came back into the room and he walked into the door, there was a boom. We had a shade on the window, the ones that you pull down and then it's on a spring. And the shade went up by itself. And that was a big clatter. The light was on, so we were looking at it. The shade went up, and outside that window, there was a very, very bright flash, like a camera flash, out that window right after the shade went up. And then everything went quiet.
Wow, very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that story. We're going to respond to it right now.
Awesome. Thank y'all.
Thanks. Take care. Have a great day. All right. Thank you for calling. Dave, go. Dave. Thank you for sharing that story from Georgia. It was great to hear it. Yeah, Dave's nodding, which is great for the podcast.
Weird.
Really
that's
great
weird.
for the podcast.
That's weird. Flash of light.
People can't even type anymore.
Eric Pacheco.
Lost
Dave,
has lost.
Lost at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Know.
Well,
I don't know. That's a weird story. No doubt.
Yeah, it is.
Good story. Some stories don't even need us to relate to it. It's just that good.
Well, you know what it is? I think everybody's had something happen along the way, right?
Have they?
Well, a lot of people Tons of people.
Have you ever been on a plane? I put like my sunglasses over my glasses so that I look like I'm 98 years old and Groucho Marx. And I'm like, I'd like to hear your story, but I'd prefer to sleep better. And then I just kind of lean back. But everybody has a story to share, which is great.
It is great. And I think sharing the story makes people feel a little better. So I'm glad we're here. Tim, go.
I got to the point of the story where she said that she had this 4-month-old baby, and then I kept thinking, did the baby come out at 4 months, or did it come out 4 months old?
Did you hear it? Wait, did you hear the snort? It was a paranormal snort.
Yeah, it was.
I'm pretty sure it might have been this strange paranormal entity.
Yeah. And I couldn't get over the fact that the baby might have been 4 months old when it came out, and it threw me. But I caught up.
Thank you, Tim.
Back to you, Dave. Dropped the call, and an effing landline that comes from Nancy Hayes.
Nancy, in all fairness, that could have been this. I mean, if you folks understood, there's like bubble gum and duct tape holding this whole thing together.
Nancy, more importantly, you should know, we stopped Karen 30 seconds into the call because
wow. And I'm still too good for this. Thanks, Jay.
I do like that. I did have somebody post today on the Twitter that they would love to watch more of the Holzer files, Holtzer, if that guy Dave wasn't a part of it.
Yeah.
To which I responded, yeah, that guy irritates me too. He looks like Rick from Pawn Stars and smells of undercooked meat.
That's all true.
There's nothing wrong with undercooked meat. I mean,
All right. We're good. An hour 36 into this. We haven't even gotten to the good stories, Jeff. Are you willing to stay place with us and continue on?
Yeah, let's get to the good stories, though.
All right, Tim Dennis, the Supernatural news correspondent at the Supernatural News Correspondent Desk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me. My turn. For the 40th time, Jose Canseco is worried about Bigfoot.
Who isn't?
Yeah, and aliens may have coronavirus. I feel now like I'm just calling names by saying this over and over again. Jose Canseco is at it again, boys. Can Bigfoot or aliens get coronavirus? I need to know because I've had contact with them. The steroid-tainted former MLB slugger tweeted on Saturday. No, everything's all right with Jose. I'm telling you right now.
Did he really?
He did. He tweeted that on Saturday.
I'm going to look that up. Keep going.
How dare you question Supernatural news correspondent Tim Dennis?
When he isn't stirring the pot with Alex Rodriguez, you can look that up as well. The 55-year-old Canseco is often ranting about the mythological Bigfoot, aliens, and time travel because that's just the way he is. He even once offered 5 people the chance to go on a Bigfoot and alien excursion alongside him.
Did you say a good fit? Good foot?
I think you've had a little too much cracking.
What exactly is the line? Have we come up with a definitive line of what's too much?
Yeah, we have. And you've crossed this.
Yeah, you leaped over that one.
I'm glad I'm the only one that continues to do what this show is all about. Today, Cinco de Nino. Drinking and supernatural news.
I love you, you're my best friend.
Did you understand that, Jeff?
I didn't get it at all.
Cinco de Nino. Stopped it cold just for that. Today, Cinco de Nino. I'll go over it again for you, Dave. He even once offered 5 people the chance to go on a Bigfoot and alien excursion alongside him. Now, I was going to bring up that when we read that story originally on the air, I believe you were one of the ones who wanted to go with him. I think you even answered that call when he tweeted that out.
Jeff, not sexually. Just let me put that out there. Not sexually.
Right.
Right. Okay. No, I meant you wanted to go on the excursion with him.
Why not? Who wouldn't want to go with Jose Canseco, Oakland A's #1 player? Tim, plug that in the correct. I don't remember what he did. Did he do anything on the Oakland A's? Was he on the A's?
Did he do anything?
Hey, it's Tom Collins.
Yes, he between him and Mark McGwire, set major
home run records
and led the Oakland A's to a couple of World Series victories.
Yeah, my favorite record, of course, being Heartbeat. I'm looking for a heartbeat.
That wasn't him; it was Don Johnson.
Oh, Don Johnson.
It's like if you closed your eyes, Don Johnson was right there.
Yeah, if you close your eyes really tight and it was low lighting and there was nothing else going on in your home.
Was he having an aneurysm? Because he wasn't singing. Just
I'd be offended if that weren't so eloquently true.
Okay, so aliens have been trying to teach us how to time travel, according to Jose Canseco. This is his quote. But first, we have to change our body composition.
We've been working on it for the last hour and 40 minutes, Tim.
I've given up Twinkies, bitch. How much more do you need from me?
I don't know. Which we are not willing to do. We have tried with animals and it has failed. I don't know.
Dave, have you ever tried it with an animal?
Only ones that were willing to go along. I'm not against pressing my, my luck.
Let's just say there was one night in the field that I don't quite recall. Canseco tweeted that in January. I don't know if you have that up.
I can find it. Wait, okay. That was January?
That was a January tweet from Jose. Last week, Canseco made headlines when he wished Happy Easter to everyone except A-Rod. He has also accused Rodriguez of cheating on fiancée Jennifer Lopez with Canseco's ex-wife Jessica.
Little do they know, I'm the one doing J-Lo.
Oh, look at, hold on, wait. Okay, I can. Ready for this?
Ready.
I thought I was.
There it is. Tim ain't lying.
Yeah. See?
You got to. Okay.
That's really small, right?
Can Bigfoot or aliens get coronavirus? I need to know because I've had contact with them. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. See?
Mm-hmm.
How's that?
You're worried. Yeah.
Bigfoot, yes. Aliens, no, says Paul Fitzgerald.
Never read the responses, Tim. Never. Never.
I'm glad Paul Fitzgerald is the quintessential expert on that deal right there.
Well, he was that time.
Yeah,
all right.
Just saying. So he's got that deal going for him. Also, all parties aside from Canseco have denied the unfounded allegation. So evidently J-Lo and Jessica are not getting it on, unfortunately. So there you go.
All right.
So there's the name of that too.
Well done.
Thank you. Speaking of Eerie Howells.
Wait, J-Lo and Jessica who?
His ex-wife. Jose Canseco's ex-wife.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry to step into that domestic dispute.
Domestic dispute.
That's what I said. Don't try to overanalyze. All right. Where are we off to next?
Rhinelander, Wisconsin. Where
dun, 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 dun.
Close enough. That'll work. Eerie howls have been recorded in Rhinelander. Close enough to Prince, sure. Accompanied by a history of strange experiences. The Singular Fortean Society received 3 videos earlier this month.
Don't confuse them with the Duo Fortean Society. They get very upset about that, Jeff.
Yeah, I never have.
I'm sending you memes.
You're sending me memes?
I sent it to Dave. I'll send it to you, Tim.
Okay.
Let's see. Try to read it while you're reading.
I've given up reading long ago.
They received 3 videos earlier this month from Colton Greenhaw, a resident of Rhinelander, Wisconsin, which feature eerie howls captured by Greenhaw and his friends and neighbors. In an April 4th interview with investigator Tobias Wayland, Greenhaw said that the videos have been recorded outside his apartment the week prior.
Do we have audio of that, Tim?
Sure, go ahead and play it.
Okay, here we go. Hey, what is that smell? My God, it's like desperation and Miracle Whip.
That's kind of most of what you hear in Wisconsin when you're driving through. on your way to Chicago.
Wow, that's
Dang.
good.
Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've.
What do you Wisconsinites? Is that the word? I don't know.
Brian Parker has a good point. I don't know if you just saw.
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting to turn my microphone back on when I say Wisconsin smells like a really strong rock. Wisconsinite. It's like an asteroid from some other planet.
That's putting it nicely. I thought it just smelled like slurry and
Okay.
Jack Daniels.
Slurrian. I like it.
Anyways, kind of towards Highway 8, there's a little patch of woods by the edge of town in the apartment complex where we're at. And around 9 or 10 o'clock at night every night, there's been some weird stuff going on out there, said Greenhaw. Greenhaw said that he and his neighbors have all heard the sounds and that he recorded 2 videos on his phone while his neighbors recorded one on his GoPro camera. I got 2 videos on my phone, he said. That was 2 nights ago. It's big, and you can hear on the GoPro that it is big. We could hear it crashing as it walked through the woods. They're not small twigs breaking. They're big sticks breaking.
Do we have any audio for that, Tim?
As a matter of fact, we do, Dave. Go ahead and play it.
Ow! Oh, good God! Ow! Slowly, pushing slowly.
Sounds right.
Woo! All right,
God.
go ahead.
Right on. We haven't seen anything yet, but we put a deer cam out last night, and we're putting another out on the other side of the forest tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are. That's how they get their kicks out there in Wisconsin. We've been asking a lot of people, have you heard anything weird? I think we have the audio of that too, as a matter of fact.
Good evening and welcome to the best in paranormal talk radio.
Is
This
it really
is
the best?
This is Darkness Radio.
He says, well,
Karen Pfeiffer wants to know, do I have any single friends? Yeah, you're looking at one. Nope, wrong side. Let me finger you over here, Tim.
well, I appreciate that. It's been a while since I've been fingered.
Sounds like 2 foxes mating. I got a story for you. Stay tuned.
So they ask if they've heard anything weird. He says, we'll play the sound on our phone. And they're like, that's exactly what we heard, adding Greenhaw. It's really loud at night, too. You could have your windows closed and you can hear it. The apartment complex where Greenhaw...
Tim,
Yeah.
can we play that audio?
Yeah, let's go ahead and play that right now, Dave.
You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
There's a time you gotta go and show you're growing. Now you're on your own. The facts of life.
The facts of life. Well, the world doesn't seem to be living up to your dreams.
Suddenly you're finding out the facts of life are all about you. Who? You. Wow.
Good God. Cinco de
Are we still
Mayo.
live?
I don't know if we should even continue. Cinco de Mayo is out of control. Cinco de Nino.
Didn't I know? Tim's got nothing. Like
I
that's
got
what
nothing.
did it. Yeah.
Is that all the stories we have, Tim?
No, I mean, there's other stories here. I think this one's gone off the rails.
All right, let's go to a call. Jeff, not Tim.
No,
Yeah,
I
that takes a minute.
617-444-9683. If you have a question or a story to share regarding the paranormal, this is your time to call to give us a break.
Or if you have a place where we could send our resume, that would really be awesome. Like,
why do I feel like I'm the only one that commits to this job?
oh God.
All right,
Wait,
no
wait,
calls.
we just got a dare. We just got a dare.
Sing Charles in Charge theme.
I don't
think. Hold on.
Charles in charge of our days and our nights. What? How does?
Was there a
Okay,
lyric for
Google, give me the Charles in Charge theme.
Google can't understand Dave.
All right, playing Charles in Charge theme song on YouTube.
All right, let's join in together, shall we?
Okay.
I don't remember the words.
You don't have to.
I
It's
want
YouTube.
Charles in charge of our days. And
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I do.
Nicole Eggert. You know what? Here's the thing. Charles in Charge was amazing till you started getting the rape allegations. That always kills a show for me. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
No.
Dukes of Hazzard. Now we know that one.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Just the good old boys.
Never meaning no harm. Tim, you're up. Beats all you never saw. Been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.
Straightening the curves.
Flattening the hills.
Sounds like a coronavirus slogan.
We got a call
Da 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 da.
from the 320 area code.
That's Colorado.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Trisha Bourne. How are you guys doing?
Hey, Trisha Bourne. That's not that. First of all, that is not the Colorado area code. That is Minnesota.
I'm Carly here.
How are you?
It's really wild over there.
Trisha, can you call for help for Dave?
Yes, I
Trisha,
will.
can you hear me? Bang, bang out.
What's
You're
going on?
30-minute wait. Sorry.
That's okay. What's going on?
So how's you guys doing?
Oh, hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
Well, I had a call. But anyways,
Okay.
my story is, it kind of corresponds with you, Dave, when you were in the hospital and what you experienced with seeing things. And I kind of shared my story and I commented about it, about my dad when he was passing away and what he experienced. And so I do believe, he was on morphine as well, but when he was passing away, he would be talking to, the ceiling, and he would be saying that I'm not ready to go up there yet, and to, leave me alone. And so I do believe, there's a different dimension out there, and what you experienced and what I witnessed with my dad is pretty amazing. So I just had to share that story with everybody.
Yeah. Thank you.
So,
I would say this. It's
also when he passed away, my mom and my sister was walking into his room, and they said that it looked like his bed was pushed far, away from the room, and they actually saw a mist come up from the bed.
Oh, wow.
And they thought they were hallucinating, and they didn't share the story until 2 days after what they experienced. So, with Dave's story, being in the hospital on morphine, you might hallucinate a little bit. But with you seeing things and talking to somebody, that was not the drugs.
Yeah. Thank you.
So there's something, out there.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
You take care.
Well, you guys have fun and have a few more drinks.
Oh, God. All right. Gosh, you're going to bully
All
us
right,
like
take
that.
care, guys.
See ya. No, that's great. Those are deeply personal stories. And just real quick, I did want to share the best chat comment we've had all night. Really, by far, it's this one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Kind of sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It does. Yeah.
We're getting spammed from foreign nations now, which is great.
Do you call it spam, or is it more like?
What do you think that? Can you translate that, Dave? Can you?
Let me see it. Let me read it.
All right, okay, give that a read. Translate that.
Is Dave Schrader as good looking as he appears on TV? No,
not at all.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
I got here late, but I'm drinking a Shirley Temple with vodka. That's
like Shirley Temple on drugs.
You can't roofie Shirley Temple. That's wrong. Anyway. It was a good talk. Winnie, you changed.
That's not Winnie. That's my daughter Pacey that did our makeup earlier this week in the Cinco de Makeover Challenge.
That was right. That was Cinco de Mayo Makeover Challenge.
My family has to live with this, all of this. But you know what? They've been really great about allowing me the chance to interact with my friends in a drunken stupor. And I'm sorry that you guys are always in a drunken stupor in order to interact with you.
What did he say, Tim?
Fuck if I know.
Isn't that the most dangerous of animals? The fuckifino?
It is.
I think it's got like the big rhinoceros horn with one that wiggles.
Yeah.
All
right.
you kids.
We've got more stories to share, believe it or not. Tim, where are we going next?
We have one. We have one story left. The most dangerous story of all, Dave. You and I have a little bet. It's a long-standing bet.
Yes. Jeff, feel free to weigh in. Tim's bet is that AI, artificial intelligence, is going to take over the world and be the Skynet ending of us all.
It's going to kill
Ending of us all.
Mm-hmm.
My bet is that zombie apocalypse, the dead rising from the grave and eating the human race, is the end of us all. This is a whole new story. This is the third split. Like this, Tim. If you, Jeff, if you could imagine this being AI, this being zombie apocalypse, this is the break. And then Tim's got a story for us. Tim, go ahead.
Go.
Well, Dave, in this story, a well-trained monkey rides a motorcycle to kidnap a child in an alley. We may have been wrong after all.
Keep your damn dirty hands off me, you filthy ape. I believe this might be the third unappreciated version of the story, that the monkeys, not Davy, Mickey, Peter, and Mike, but the actual poop-eating, poop-flinging monkeys might be the end of us all. What have you got for us, Tim?
Well, there's a video out there, Dave, of a monkey trying to drag a baby across the alley in a bid to kidnap it, and it went viral on the internet. A small child surrounded by grown-ups was attacked by a monkey in broad daylight, but the adults managed to get the monkey off. Not that way, but get the monkey off the back. Yeah. I wish we all could get that monkey off our back today, but we can't. It looks like a movie scene where this well-trained monkey performs a stunt on his mini motorcycle. The monkey is seen in the footage.
Get your bone to run in. Head out on that highway.
You would have made Peter Fonda proud. But boy, that's an old
I
joke.
heard he was fond of my impersonation.
Oh, man. Dave, if you tip that glass up too high, you're done.
Is that a threat or a promise?
The monkey seen in the footage rides like an expert, suddenly stopping where the bunch of kids were playing and snatched a child and drags her roughly on the ground. What makes this scenario even worse is that this well-trained monkey lost the grip at first while the child was squealing, but went back and dragged the child by the hair. As the monkey chooses to go harder by pulling the child by the hair, it takes the child quite far down the alley. Some grown-ups finally take the matter into their hands and come forward to frighten this monkey off. Too bad they didn't get a hold of it and just spank it roughly.
Yeah.
The important part of this story is the adults finally get involved. Up to a certain point, they're like, let's see what this fucking monkey's got.
I would want to see too, though, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you be like, wow, like this is kind of amazing. Can you juggle too?
Have you seen the footage? He rides up on this mini motorcycle that's like this big. He comes and then jumps in and then grabs the kid by the part and then drags him down the alleyway.
Nothing's amazed me quite as much as Whiplash, the cowboy monkey. Yeah. Ever since Whiplash, nothing surprises me.
Someone's got $9.95 a month.
Not like that.
Tim's a bit of a big shooter. He doesn't have 2,200 children to pay for.
No,
right.
It's just a lot of this, just a lot of drinking and watching cowboy monkeys.
Who's to drinking and cowboy monkeys?
Cheers. You kids, we're almost 2 hours in. I think we got to let people go at some point.
You don't know Darkness Radio. Let's go 3.5 hours.
We're not really done with this story. I mean,
all right, keep going.
Okay, right. As the monkey chooses to go harder by pulling the child by the hair, it takes the child quite far down the alley. Some grown-ups, as we said, finally take the matter in their hands and come forward to frighten the monkey off. It's one way of getting them off. The person who recorded the entire video mentioned to a local media house that owning the monkey in Indonesia is illegal, although locals still pet them for entertainment purposes, assuming there are no negative consequences. Hopefully, this video will be a red flag for locals and a warning for Indonesian officials, as these trained monkeys can take children away.
Which is the beginning of the relationship between Jeff and I, just petting me for entertainment purposes.
Right. See, that's how it starts. Just saying.
That's all I got.
Yeah.
This is the comment of the night. Tom Collins, you guys are fabulous. Absolutely no redeeming social value to this show at all.
None. Why should there be?
Kind
of
You know
what?
it.
If you want redeeming social commentary, go watch something from somebody much more important than Tim and I. Tim and I. Yeah. This is all about fun. Thank you all for tuning in to the best in paranormal talk radio. I'm Dave Schrader. That's Tim Dennis. That's Jeff Belanger. We've been providing you with the best that drunken idiots can provide. Thank you so much for listening. Do we have any other calls on hold, Jeff Belanger?
No. And if we open those lines again, people are going to ring them.
I think we should try. Go ahead.
Oh, God. All right. Last call. Do not disturb is off. We do that.
617-444-9683. If you're listening to the podcast and you decide to call in, then shame on you for being so stupid. But if you're listening live and you have a story to share, a question for us, 617-444-9683. We'll hear your question. We'll hang up on you abruptly and then answer the question and then wrap up today's show. Do we have any calls coming in, Jeff?
You'd hear the do. So,
Do you want to hear my fun story about Inagata de Vida?
Please, someone call right now.
So we're at the Queen Mary. We're doing an event. The Booth brothers, not to be confused with the Marx brothers or the Ritz brothers. The Marx brothers. No, the Booth brothers are there.
Oh, we got a call.
All right, what have we got?
From the 719 area code, you're live. Who are you? Where are you from?
Oh, I'm stupid. I'm the stupid one that called in.
Yes, you are. Thank you for joining us. What have we got?
This is Nikki from Crestone, Colorado.
Nikki from Colorado.
And, I had a fun fact for you guys. I was conceived on the night that The Exorcist premiered, December 26, 1973.
Wow.
My parents apparently thought that movie was a huge turn on.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the best call we've had. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Rock on.
Well, so, no. Okay. She's off. Thank you for that call. So she was conceived after her parents watched The Exorcism.
Mm-hmm.
The Exorcist, which makes sense.
Yeah. Two different things, but yeah.
I can't think of a better note to ride off into the sunset.
Can't you really?
Right? Like,
wow, you 360 degree that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let me get this straight. She was conceived after The Exorcist movie. Why do I feel like Cowbell? What's his name?
So they saw the movie. Mom and Dad were turned on. Boom. She was conceived. 9 months later, she's here and then called in to us.
Sure.
Dad played Father Marin, Mom played Reagan. They got it on, and bang, she's here.
Use the Ouija board alone. It'll turn me on.
I like it. That's the way it works. Hey, folks, this is Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Nino, the best in paranormal talk radio. We hope that you've enjoyed our descent into the darkness. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of our show. We'll be back again next year. We can't promise that there'll be a global pandemic, but we can promise that we will love you through it all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to our good friend, Jeff Belanger. Thank you to our good friend, Tim Dennis. Thank you to all who have supported the show through the years. We love you. Huh? Da 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 da. Like a fat kid loves chocolate. I got nothing. But thank you for tuning in, being a part of the program with us. We hope this is the Cinco de Nino show you've been waiting for all along. I want you to know that when my funeral eventually happens, I'm the only one that committed 100% fully. Here's 2 drinks down, and that's the end of Cinco de Nino. For the best in paranormal talk radio, you've been listening to this guy, Tim Dennis, me, Dave Schrader, and our special guest, Jeff Belanger. Thank you all for being a part of our program. We are the best in paranormal talk radio. This, whether you like it or not, is Darkness Radio.